All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Get into the... Here we go. All right. They brought 2 flagships. Can you do that?
I don't know. I guess so. We'd
I
have to
don't
take a
know.
look
All
at
right, hold on.
the rules, but
I'll go look at the rule set. For now, I'm going to transition into the game.
all right.
All right, let's have a quick peek. I'm actually going to go look at the rule set while the countdown is running.
All right. While you're doing that, can I take us in or?
Yeah, go, go, go.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Game 1 of Warship Masters Invitational. This is China versus China. TSYM versus TSYMQ. TSYMQ we have seen before in King of the Seas. TSYM we have not, so the Q stands for quality. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups on Hotspot. To the north, TSYM is bringing with them a Druid, a Grozovoy, a Z52, a Colbert, a Zhao, test ship Zhao, a Napoli, and an Annapolis. Now you'll see that there are 2 bars that are highlighted. These are considered flagships. The rules state that a flagship can be used only twice in the duration of the tournament. So the choice to bring in Annapolis and Napoli right now means that these teams can only use these 2 ships one more time. And Raptors double checking
the rest of the event.
Right, for the entire rest of the event. So these guys maybe don't feel as comfortable and want to just deal a knockout blow right away with ships that are of much higher value. You'll note to the left and to the right, there are point values next to each of the ship icons. There's a what is it, 100 points that teams can distribute. And each ship class has a different point value. That's why you see Zhao, for example. Zhao is relatively cheap. Colbert is even cheaper, which scratched my head in Raptors as well yesterday.
Yep, Colbert being a dirt cheap ship in this format. One of the things about Hotspot, we're going to get some very quick action at sea here. Already seeing it now, the Z52 and the Druid opposing each other.
Yes.
Druid now locked up on the Z52 Hydro. Now, Zath, I did take a quick look at the rules while you were doing lineups. There is no limit to how many numbers of flagships that you can take in a game. Now, that is a change from previous iterations of the tournament. The restrictions are now that you can only bring those ships a total of twice over the entire event.
Yeah, historically, for everybody who is new to the tournament, each team could bring a flagship, and if they lost that flagship in battle, it was gone for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
So it's a big change.
Quick look at the TSYMQ lineup here. They are running Clausewitz, German, strong German, Edgar and Colbert, fronted by Grozovoy, Double Druid, and Ragnar.
Ragnar is a good pick. Always a good pick, but she's probably expensive. Yeah, 21 points.
Yeah, 21 points. I would expect Ragnar to be quite pricey. In fact, if I'm reading the map correctly, old James's Ragnar here in the B cap's going to have a little bit of torpedo problems soon. Requiem's Hydro is up. They've got those well spotted. My apologies. What
I find interesting, Raptor, is that neither team has opted to bring a battleship.
No battleships. Yeah, I get the impression. TSYM's Colbert kind of caught out here, having to run from the Edgar.
Yep.
Now also sort of broadside to the other Colbert to the south.
He's got a couple turrets that are out, but he doesn't care about that. He cares about survivability right now, and he is staying alive.
Problems. Finally manages to go undetected there. C remains contested. Both teams ticking a cap. Just realizing I have my music turned on, but it's so quiet you can barely hear it. I'll have to work on that between games.
I actually like it that way because when I release it to YouTube later, you just have that slight background and that's it.
Yeah, no, I want a little bit of it. Well, the TSYM Colbert opting to take some more shots at the Druid. That's Wenrow's Druid, but it may cost him his ship as he's now down under 4K, finally going dark again as more shells fall in here.
Yeah, some really good guest shots coming in from, I think that's the Druid.
I gotta say, I like what TSYM's doing with this Annapolis, Zath. I feel like the Annapolis is their board piece that's gonna win them this game if they can find a way.
I mean, they put a lot of points into the Annapolis and the Napoli, so you'd expect those 2 ships specifically to carry this game.
You've got to get some value out of these things. You only get to use them twice, and it's not, twice until you can continue to use them until they're sunk. It's more that just you only get them twice. So here in game 1, TSYM going hard all in on this game.
Gotcha. Right, greedy. Okay.
Does look like they're going to succeed in pushing the Z52 out of the C cap. Windrouse Druid moving up. His Hydro, of course, running longer than the German Hydro. The German Hydro is simply having more range.
Yep. I mean, Z52 is a good pick on this map.
Yep. I like what these teams, I mean, you can see very clearly TSYMQ opting for a very strong 9-10 line push, a coordinated effort to grab control of C, which pays off. As TSYM opting for maybe a little more passive strategy with the Napoli and the Annapolis originally going to A, pulling them off now, rotating the Annapolis back through mid.
Look at the Edgar with the Z52. Is that Edgar a radar? It is. 20 seconds from now, this will be a dead Z52.
This will be a dead Z52 in moments. It's only a matter of time.
I mean, the French radar is being a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, they had no idea that Edgar was there. Radar's up in 5.
Mm-hmm. And here comes the circle. Boing.
And there is the circle of death for this particular Z52.
The Rock cried out, no hiding place.
Nowhere to hide. Edgar gets about half his HP, and then here comes the Druid.
Oh, yeah.
The Colbert.
I love
and
the
Melody
Druid so much.
Z52. In these kinds of formats, I think Druid is quite solid. But, yep, there she goes. Melody, the first casualty of this game, as the Annapolis arrives at C. Now, there's not a way for us to tell if he's in the middle of using his funny button, right, Zaf?
Correct. The only way you can tell is if you zoom in.
Oh my goodness! Look at the AP. Oh, the Colbert.
Colbert just got
absolutely
smashed.
Hammered. Mm-hmm. So I guess the way we tell is when he vomits out shells.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Which is slightly difficult.
Taking a torp on the 10 line, gonna take another and go down right here. A little bit of revenge there for that aggressive push.
Very important kill for TSYM.
Big kill for the green team. They needed that. Not quite down 100 points here. Plenty of time on the clock. Still over 13 minutes.
Yeah, initially that TSYM Colbert being pushed back allowed TSYMQ to move up the 9-10 line without vision, so that was brilliant for them.
TSYM making a very bold play here, leaving Joey's Napoli the only ship over here around the A cap, as even TSYMQ is collapsing many of their resources back to sea as well. They catch a glimpse of the Annapolis.
And 4 ships focus fire on them.
That is a huge, man. If they kill, I'll tell you, if TSYMQ kills this Annapolis, I have no idea how TSYM gets back in this game. I think they have to get this kill.
Yep. Yep. And he spotted again, so that...
Yeah. Well, he fired. He was dark for a brief moment, and then he fired. And now the Druid AP on his broadside. The Druid getting shots for free. Here comes the Edgar. This Annapolis is going out, Saf.
Oh, he's gone. His heal just ended, and so did his life.
The focus fire from, like, everywhere.
Yeah. As I zoom out, you guys can all see that. Just Robocopped.
Ah, it is. Okay. Okay.
Something wrong?
Chat is catching something in my setup that I should have caught yesterday, but it's easy. I will fix it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, meanwhile, the Napoli is trying to rotate around B, but the Clausewitz happens to be there, and Napoli doesn't do so well against the Clausewitz. He's got his Hydra going up. That's keeping the Napoli detected. So that's going to allow TSYMQ to reform. Meanwhile, TSYMQ's Druid in the C cap decided to just default push. I always talk about this. When you don't know what to do, a lot of people's instinct is just advance. You don't need to do that. This was not necessary for when roused Druid, but he did it in the way, and he's actually alive. The Grozavoy didn't give battle, probably because of the Edgar. 6 seconds, and the Druid gets to heal. Emperor's Colbert is going to be going down for TSYM, and when that happens, we're talking about a moment or two.
Well, no, that's good. Okay, that's going to tie it up. Yeah. because it's 2 ships, that'll be 2 ships apiece. There he goes.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry. It's a 2-ship lead. I wasn't counting. Okay, sorry.
You're in the middle doing something else. Don't worry.
Right. No, I fixed it. I was waiting for you to finish.
Check out the Grozavoy Druid match. Look at this. Look at this.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now, Zap. Grozavoy finally realizing he should just go for the ram, but it's going to come too late. Druid just shoots him down, but the Druid now broadside to the other Druid out on the middle of the board. They're fishing. He's burning.
He is burning, and 20 seconds, he will burn out.
Yep.
And then he makes Inky at the end just to sit because he can.
And tell him where he is, and then just die.
One defiant salvo. I love the Druid so much. It's just you point the bow at the enemy, hold down left mouse button. I mean, it's just
and then go get a cup of ice cream or something.
do something else with your left hand. Exactly. Good times.
You got to be careful when you say stuff like that, Zap. It's a family-friendly stream, sir.
Hey, you went there. I didn't.
if you're TSYM, I think I would say, okay, so this is another thing, right? Previously, in a match like this, TSYM would want to try and save their Napoli. But now it doesn't matter, does it? Because they only get it one at a time, whether it lives or dies. The survival of the flagship is no longer a relevant mechanic in the tournament.
That is correct. All right, and we got our first death pick of the tournament. Ta-da!
All right, well, the Q did indeed stand for quality in Game 1, Zaf, as TSYMQ picks up Game 1.
That's right, so we're going to move on to Warrior's Path next, and let's hope that everything else is working properly. We shall see.
It's been that kind of day, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes, it has. As I'm trying to think to myself, oh right, I was going to show the winner screen for a second. That's what I was going to do.
Oh, no, I'm saving that for the end of the match. I'm not doing that right now.
I usually do that at the end of matches, but I thought, okay, well, I tied my fancy lights on button with the winner screen, so I got to get in the habit of doing that. I usually don't, but it's like, where do I go? Maybe I'll change it to the tournament screen, because that's easier for me to pop up, but in any case. Are you all entertained? Our first game turned out quite well, I would say. Oh, and you know what?
Well, it would have worked out better for me if I had my game ratio set correctly in the chat in the window, but I did not. So that game looked. Yeah, I had not shrunk mine to fit the screen. Yeah, because I play on a big ass monitor, and anyway.
Well, you and I both do that, right? 1440p. So there's a whole lot cut off on the bottom and on the side, and you just have to find it and then Control F, and then you. While I'm bringing that up, Raptor, don't forget to double check the other game screen, because there's two game screens. Oh
no, I changed it in the base.
Oh,
remember, there's a scene that you set up your gameplay in, and then that translates to both of those. That's already
You're right,
done.
Right. Okay, I'm just. Hey, you know, this is not our first rodeo, everyone.
No.
Okay, so I think, I'm going to change my lights on to tournament. I'm just going to get in the habit of doing that instead. That'll be better. Oh, that's right. I was going to build something for it, and then I'm like, nah, and then we went to bed. So...
Build something for what?
Oh, for when I push a button, I was gonna put a whole fancy multi-action thing, and then I'm like, nah, and I went to bed instead.
Man, look, we had to. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go ragging. Let's put it this way, guys. Let's put it this way. It's tournament day. We're here to talk about the teams and have fun.
That's
but
right.
If you want the behind the scenes about this tournament, drop by a regular stream some other time.
That's right. That's right. For me, that'll be the after party later today.
Exactly. Okay, and I'm going to be doing some of that tonight as well because I need to get started on the charity event. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Now, we did not talk before Game 1, Zaf, about the point system, and I think since that's like the defining characteristic of this event, I feel like we should put that screen up and talk about it. Don't you?
I think so too.
Okay. So I'm going to put this screen up here. Talk us through it, Zath. How does this work?
All right. Well, one sec. Just check. Just do. Okay. So which one are you doing now? The flagship or the points?
No, the points. We'll talk about flagships in a minute. Just the points for now.
Okay. So you have a 100-point base that you can choose to distribute however you'd like. Okay. So what we saw in the last game, take a look at Zhao, 10 points. Colbert, 7 points. So we see a lot of teams will try to min-max this. All right. They bring high point value, high quality ships, but in order to do that, they're going to have to pay a price for that. And so both teams opted to bring Colbert, for example, that saved points so they could bring something else better. So you know where you stand on the team if you're told to go play the cheap ship. Anyway, so you can see the Annapolis, for example, is 24 points, right? The Novosibirsk and the Kandy are also 24 points. The Moskva is not a flagship, and it's worth 24 points, which is kind of interesting. There's also battleships, but the battleships are so expensive compared to cruisers and destroyers. I think we're not going to see a lot of battleships this tournament, Raptor, which honestly isn't a bad thing necessarily, right?
No, I don't think it is. Although I will say, one of the comments that we've had on previous iterations, right, is that some of the battleships and some of like the high value, high return cruisers, things like it's either a Moskva or a Stalingrad or a Petro, right? The gap between some of those felt too large. And one of the things that they've done in this points spread, right, is they've really closed that gap. I mean, there are now straight up battleships like a Conqueror. A Conqueror is worth 18 points instead of, let's say, an Edgar or Brisbane at 21 or 22. It's obvious that they're placing a high value on the radar, right? Rather than necessarily the survivability, for example.
Right. So we're in between rounds right now, so there's a whole lot of chatter going on. We're both engaging our audiences. Big thanks to both of our audiences for saying, hey, can you fix this? Can you tweak that? Whatnot. The sooner that gets told to us, the sooner we get it fixed for future battles. So that's important. For example, I know Raptor, you've got your stuff going on. My chat's telling me that you're too quiet. Now, you know the problem, which is you're either too quiet or you're booming. So
I have a naturally projecting voice, Zath. That's what I tell people, which is short for I'm damn loud. So there you go. Okay, so Zath has talked to the point system, right? Every team gets 100 points. Anytime they go to field 7 ships, you have 100 points. That's all you get. You get to choose how you fill up that 100 points, where you want to spend your points. Now, on this screen that we're looking at, the ship values, there are, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 ships highlighted in gray. Those are the ships that are available to be chosen as flagships, and I just changed over to the other slide, Zath. So the way the flagship rules work, each flagship, those 8 hulls, can only appear in your lineup twice, ever, over the course of the entire event. That's it. So those hulls, you got to really pick your game and your opponent carefully if you want to use them. The trick is that in previous iterations of the event, you could only ever have 1 flagship in a game. That restriction is now lifted. I can field an entire team of flagships if I want, if I could find a way to afford it. You probably can't. I'd have to run the math, but I'm betting not.
Right.
And so there you go. So anyways, those are the 2 rules, guys. Other than that, what we're doing today here on day 1, as Zath pointed out, is we're starting with individual brackets, let's say, within each region. 4 teams from each region, North America, EU, China, and Southeast Asia, the Asia server, have been invited by Wargaming to participate in this event.
Yep.
They are today, here on day 1, they're all playing, I think it's double elimination brackets? What are we doing here on day 1?
I believe so.
Or just you played at 2 losses? Let me go look.
You have a loser's bracket, but they can't come back into the grand final once knocked down. So the loser of the winner's bracket final faces off against the winners of the loser bracket.
Okay. Yep, I got it. Yeah, so
And then-
it's essentially, it's double elimination.
Right. And then teams are seeded into the next weekend based off of their progress. Actually, the next day, sorry.
The next
Tomorrow
day, right,
starts
yeah.
the playoffs. And my understanding, we'd have to double check the rules, but my understanding is basically the top 4 from each region shows up, which means in that hotly contested EU bracket, one of those 3 favorited teams is going home. And so far, TWA is up a game over Shaft.
I saw that.
One other thing I wanted to
Go.
bring up is that there is a flagship status. If you look at the link collection.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know about you, Raptor. For me, I have !WMI. Will bring up the link collection, so anybody who's watching from home can follow along. But the flagship status here is a great page to look at. You get an idea of what teams have brought flagships already, what teams haven't. Nobody's brought a Vermont yet, or a Petropavlovsk, for example. But somebody's brought every other flagship, and so far, the Annapolis has been brought 3 times.
In game 1 already?
As a matter of fact, Shaft lost game 1 with an Annapolis against TWA, which didn't bring a single super ship.
Yeah.
Or, not super, flagship, sorry. Yeah, it's interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Give me 1 minute.
No problemo. We are dropping, by the way.
No, I guess I should pay attention then.
I was about to say, perfect, because they're dropping in a minute, and then they went and dropped anyway.
Okay. All right. I have made the requests that need to be making over there. I didn't need to do this and that and that and then this. Okay. There we go.
Yep.
All right. We're headed to
Let's
Warriors
go.
Path, Zath.
That's right. Now, this is a best of 2. If it goes 2-0, that means Raptor and I go fishing.
Well, we'll see how it goes. They've got the wrong spawns.
I thought so too, but I'm just going based off the spawns they did. We'll see if they catch it and they do a reload or not.
All right. For now, I'm just going to swap the screen back. But this is not what is shown. These spawns are not what's shown in the...
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah,
This
when
is
they
here
did map-
too? My God.
When they did map picks and bans, for those of you who don't understand, each team can ban a map, and then they go through and they pick a map, and then the opposite team picks a spawn, and then they flip,
Indeed.
and then they... So, whichever... I don't remember which one picked which spawn on this map, but obviously they went with the opposite because they didn't notice it, and they're playing it, so oh well.
All right, we'll run it through. All right, spawning in the green on the north spawn again. Here is TSYM fielding Conde. I mean, I guess they're just gonna keep going flagships until they're out. Conde, Colbert, and Venezia for some cruisers. Triple Destroyer, Elbing, Daring, Druid, and Yu Yang. A nice mix there. I'm betting if I look, that's probably a radar Yang. It is indeed.
Yep, quadruple destroyer actually, and the Elbing is using a unique upgrade. So the Elbing is cosplaying as a cruiser.
Okay. Well, I mean, Elbing is a cruiser, really. I mean, the stuff that thing can do to light cruisers is obscene, Zach.
Right,
Obscene.
and now it's a better cruiser.
Indeed. All right,
So-
talk to me about the quality lineup here on the south side.
So quality to the south. I love this. They are bringing with them Shimakaze. Now the Shimakaze is rocking the 12 kilometers. They've got another Elbing of their own with the unique upgrade. There's a Druid. We got our Edgar with radar and Venezia. Our first time seeing a Smolensk this game, Raptor, this tournament. This is 13 points, so it's on par with the Venezia, point-wise,
Wow.
and a Z52, which is also 13
wild.
points.
It's wild to see a Smolensk staff. I'm so used to seeing those, to not seeing them, because the ship is like not readily available or whatever. They're basically banned in King of the Sea because not everybody can get one.
Right. And
Interesting.
to be quite frank, it's a ship that does well in randoms as long as it's got somebody pushing into it and spotted. But in a tournament format, it feels a little odd. I would agree. I wouldn't expect to see Smolensks in King of the Sea, for example. Like, even if it was allowed, I wouldn't see people playing it. Maybe the old 07 because they used to run Wooster Comp, but
All right. Well, early deployments. Everybody going heavy to A here. 5 ships from each team lurking around the A cap. The one kind of loner here would be the TSYM Daring. That's Mac, all alone here in the middle of the board, being very bold.
Well, it kind of makes sense. He's got radio location. You can see he's just luck chucking towards that radio location. The enemy's got a Z-42. So the last thing you want to do is bump into that.
Yu Yang Yu Yang radar going up over on the 2 line, coming up empty.
Yeah, it'll change in a second.
Yep. Dummies Hydro picking up these Shimakaze torpedoes before they're able to do anything. They just catch a glimpse of Requiem here, way over on the map of the edge of the map. Is now counter radar coming out, picking up Joey's Yang.
Yes, and we get the all-familiar Venn diagram drawn on the ocean.
Indeed. Yu Yang radar disappearing, but Edgar radar has 40 more seconds left to run. Joey's going to take some punishment here.
Oh, here comes some sap. Nothing.
How has he taken no damage until that moment? That was crazy.
Big hits on the Venezia, though. Conde responding, saying, "Leave my friend alone."
Wen's Druid just sailing boldly into the A cap, shooting the whole time, taking a little bit of punishment from Melody's Elbing over here, and now the Elbing taking some punishment from the Edgar in return.
It's the wonderful thing about Druid is you just go someplace and you dare them to take you out. Like
I gotta say,
that
Zap,
spot is so great.
If I'm that Edgar, that Elbing scares the bejesus out of me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and the Elbing's in a perfect position to have broadside on the Edgar too. So you can see the Edgar's not going to stick around through the duration of the smoke. He's going to get out and start backing off immediately. If you think about it, Quality got what they needed. They got the A cap. So now the timer's ticking for standard. Standard versus quality.
I don't
Performance.
It's kind of rude.
Performance.
It's kind of rude to say not quality.
Performance versus quality. Performance
versus quality. That's how we're going to sell this. There it is. Thank you. Well done. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I mean, for Team Green here, for TSYM, it's absolutely going to be a big challenge to break back into the A cap, given the way TSYMQ is deployed here. The Elbing caught on the surface, going to trade shots with the Druid. I don't think the Druid's going to like that exchange.
No.
Although, admittedly, the Elbing might not like it as much either because the Druid's got friends.
Well, I was just going to say, that's the only difference right there. But that's a big difference, as you can see. And Wenru just holding down left mouse button, he doesn't care. He's going to keep shooting because what else is there to shoot at? Nothing.
Melody coughs up about 20,000 health in exchange for about maybe 8 or 10 on the Druid. Doesn't feel like a very good trade.
Nope. I have a feeling that the Elbing's AP was overpenning the Druid, whereas the Druid's AP was full penning the Elbing. That's a big difference.
Conde is well spotted, charging down the 1 line here. A whole bunch of torpedoes in front of him. He can spot them all. His Hydro's running.
Well,
he's just got to plot a course through them.
When you've got that timer ticking, you've got a couple minutes before the panic really starts to set in. And once that happens, it's like, okay, we got to make a play. Where's the play going to come from? Melody in trouble. Melody being shot at again by the Druid.
Oh, man, how did Melody survive that on 800 HP? But look at the Daring. Look
at
Max Daring.
Yep.
The Daring has come all the way through the middle of the board now, Zath.
Sure.
And is going to be able, possibly, to off the Druid.
Well, he's got to be careful not to off himself at the process. Edgar crawling up.
He's got to be very, very careful. That Edgar is very close. This
Indeed.
cannot be a comfortable place for this Daring.
Indeed,
Edgar
but they got
is close.
They're going to get the Druid. No, he's healing.
Oh, the Druid's got to heal off now. They can't spot him in there. They're bringing in the Venezia and the Yang. The Yang's radar should be... No, the Yang's radar's down.
Yep, the Daring is continuing to fish, actually connecting.
Druid's out.
And there it goes.
Druid, they got the fire they needed right as the Venezia steps into the cap. And so now, can they extract this Daring? I'm betting not, Zath. He's radared.
There's an Edgar right there.
Well, and the Elbing can't help him anymore. If Melody hadn't coughed up so much HP earlier, there might have been a scenario where the Elbing could have covered the friendly Druid here, but it's not going to happen. In fact, Melody, also caught by that radar, may go out.
Yep. So Performance loses the Daring. Melody's got to be very careful.
Now
All the AP
Venezia
shells
into a close
flying.
battle. TSYM getting bold here, making aggressive A push. But it cost them a little too much for the moment. Let's see if they can get this. Let's see if Quality can get this Edgar out of here.
The big question is the Conde. Can they get the Conde in a position to do anything? He's way too far away right now.
He's so far back now. He's just not impactful on the game. Edgar popping one of his fancy super heals.
Yep.
Oh, he's
Colbert getting in on this. Venezia's about to go down.
The Venezia now under 3K and falling. 1K going out right here. Wow.
Yep. Huge kill for Quality.
Solid. A solid push from TSYM, but it just cost them too much. Because, I mean, Melody's basically dead. You can't do anything with this Elbing except protect it. Zath, I think TSYM has found their W keys collectively.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it was a good attempt at a push. I think the big thing was they put the Conde on the one line, and Quality's like, yeah, okay, fine. You can have the one line. We'll take the rest of the map.
Feels like the Colbert sold his ship to try to get this Edgar kill. He is going to get it, but it's going to cost him his own ship.
Yep. And that's going to leave the door wide open for the B cap.
Yep. Melody, the closest ship to B for TSYM, not going to be able to rotate back and do very much with only 830 health. Zath, I think you said it earlier, and I think you said it best. This Conde on the one line just has not been impactful or enough for a flagship for a ship that you spend this kind of points on.
No. Not at all. Not at all. All right. Well, Joey Zhu Yang catches the Shimakaze on radar. That's neat. But I just don't know that it's going to do anything.
Well, it might. Conde's actually going to be doing a decent job of dodging these torps, and he's going to come in with a good salvo on the Shima there.
His reload booster is available in 6 seconds.
But look at the cross torps on this Conde, right? Like, he can't... He's been trying to dodge all these Shima torps. He's going to manage it, and then he's got to turn to dodge... These are Elbing torps, and he's managed that too. I'm impressed, Seth.
Someone needs to put that Peepo gif of him, like, turning the steering wheel hard all over the place.
Yeah, like
that's what just happened. Vroom vroom.
Flipping the wheel at high speed, doing his thing.
Now Venezia might turn into deep waters if he speeds up.
I think the Venezia is going to burn down long before that happens.
Yeah, they don't have the range anyways. Well, Venezia's at 2100.
I'm sorry. I'm saying Venezia and looking at the Conde.
The Conde. No worries. Conde's going to die right here.
Probably going to go out right here.
Saps up. And look.
Well, Zad, go ahead.
Quality doesn't even care about the B cap. They're like, yeah, you keep ticking. We're just going to go and kill the rest of your team.
I saw that too. I was like, I guess they're just like, screw it. Let's just go murder them. Well, TSYMQ is going to win this game as they've knocked out all of the opposing cruisers. All that's left are a handful of destroyers. They look really good here in the early going, Zath. I almost feel like with this series, Zath, it feels like you're seeing like maybe kind of a two different philosophies, right? TSYM coming in hard and heavy. Flagships in every game, in each of these two games, but you didn't get the sense that they really had a good grasp on him. Yeah, the Venezia's gonna need some deep waters and go out here.
He'll take the one, but he'll DCP
just the one. I'm surprised, just the one.
He just pulverizes the druid,
and it just destroys this poor druid. Yep. The last survivor on this team, Zath, is going to be Melody's Elbing on 830 hit points.
Well, of course, because they told him to play careful. Fly casual, and that's what he did.
Once TSYM was down a ship, on this map, I liked the aggression of, hey, let's get into A. And they did.
Absolutely.
And rotating the daring through, I liked the play. But it felt like maybe they didn't have a plan for then what? Right? Like, okay, we brought people through the middle of the map, we got the cap, or, whatever. But how do I get this daring out alive? That seemed like not really a factor.
Right. I gotta say it's gonna be interesting to see. I have a feeling that the reason why we saw the super ships being used by TSYM is because, or the flagships, maybe they don't expect to advance beyond today, and so they just want to play with the ships and see what they can make happen, which is fine.
But everybody plays beyond today. Everybody plays tomorrow, Zaf.
Are you sure?
Yes, I looked at it.
Okay.
There's
okay,
16. There's 16 seat
There's
spots.
16.
Everybody plays
All right.
tomorrow.
So maybe they just don't expect to get far in the tournament anyway, and
Now that may be. I don't know. Maybe they're just like, screw it, let's get in here and have a good time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
In any case,